What's up, everybody? It's John with John Sports Cards and Collectibles coming at you with a brand new video. And here I am again with one of these opinion piece editorial videos. And this shouldn't really upset anybody. Unless you're just one of those kind of people that just can't look at how things are really going in this hobby space, and all you want to think of are the positive things and go off the Jeff Wilson vibes. But for most of us that are in this space, we see these stories that have happened in 2025 and are just scratching our heads as to how does this kind of stuff continue and what's going to be done about it. And some of us even probably think, why the hell am I still sticking around in this insanity? So there have been so many bad, scandalous, criminal things that have gone on in this hobby space in 2025. And I'm going to talk about a couple of them here. A bunch. Some that I just completely missed. Some maybe you missed. Some that everybody's, some that people forget about already, or forgotten about already, excuse me. We can't forget about any of this stuff, guys. If you're in this as a regular old collector, if you're in this as a collector and / business person, if you're in this, just as a business person, and that's it, and you're trying to be honest, decent human being in this space, this kind of shit should piss you off, and you should try to figure out in your mind, what needs to be done moving forward. Because this has to be one of the worst years I think I've ever seen in my, years in this space now. I returned to this space in 2018 and have been in it since then, obviously. And I just, this hobby is dysfunctional, toxic, a clown show, a shit show. I mean, I don't know what positive things can be said here about this hobby space. Except for maybe the nostalgia of things. I mean, you've got new product being so overproduced, overpriced. And it's just like, why would this be appealing to somebody new coming into this space? Especially when we look at these stories here. Let's start. Enough of me kind of ranting in this beginning part here. So again, these things happen, and so most of us tend to forget about them because there's just so much crap going on in the world, and then within the space, it's just one thing after another, after another, after another. These are in no particular order, okay? And I'm probably missing more. But these are the bigger ones that, bigger things that happened. We had card stores being broken into and thefts at shows. Those kind of stories that happens every year. Those are unfortunate. They're not real. I think there's one maybe here I'm going to talk about for a second. These are the bigger ones. DeCello Levitt files landmark antitrust class action against Fanatics and major U.S. sports leagues over trading card monopoly. Yeah, well, I mean, we all know that Fanatics is a monopoly. People let this happen. It's all about the money. It's all about the dough in this space nowadays. I'm not going to read this article, but let me just read this one paragraph here. According to the complaint, Fanatics secured unprecedented, decades-long exclusive licenses from 6 major professional sports licensors: MLB, MLBPA, the Players Association, NBA, the NBA Players Association, NFL, and the NFL Players Association, by offering equity stakes in its future monopoly profits. These backdoor deals, made without public bidding, eliminated competition and gave Fanatics control over the entire market for the MLB, NFL, and NBA trading cards. Fanatics then acquired Topps, the dominant MLB card producer, and a controlling stake in GCP Packaging, the primary manufacturer for its only remaining competitor, Panini America, and restricted its production to choke off Panini's supply, further cementing Fanatics' market dominance. How is this like not being brought up in front of our government? It makes you wonder. I mean, this is, we already knew this was horrific, but when you read it, and it's just this one paragraph, this is fucking god awful. Fanatics, in my views, looks like a fucking evil ass company. And yet people shell money out, throw money at them. I don't buy very much new product anymore. And I have other reasons, but this is just one to add to the list. So you had this happen back in July. This happened this past summer. Alt files lawsuit against PWCC for shill bidding. This was talked about. I didn't talk about this, but you know, shill bidding was has been a topic of discussion over these last few weeks. But there's this. Alt has filed a lawsuit against PWCC in the New York State Supreme Court. They allege the company has committed fraud and breached the auctioneer's duty. The claims are that the company engaged in shill bidding. PWCC got kicked off of eBay for shill bidding. Surprise, surprise. Let's keep going here. This is a tiny one, but it happened in my area here. Pittsburgh area man accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of trading cards. Pittsburgh area man is facing charges accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of sports trading cards from two collectors. He promised to get them professionally graded, but never delivered. So he was acting as a middleman, getting the cards graded. That's a tiny little story, but just shows the kind of scandalous crap even on the small local level in my area that it happens. It goes into what happened here. Continuing on. Oh, the 250,000 fake autograph scandal. One man deceived collectors out of approximately $250,000 with counterfeit signatures backed by forged certificates. March 31st, 2024. That's old, but it came out in April. So they must have been talking about this in 2025, dealing with it. So you got this one. Next one. This was a terrible one. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. $1 billion counterfeit scheme rocks autographed sports memorabilia market. And, you know, we all know what happened to this guy at the end. He ended up taking his own life. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This is our hobby space, folks. This is in the same kind of space from when you were a kid, okay? You didn't hear about people taking their own lives in this hobby space when you're a kid in this thing. Just excited to open up packs of baseball cards, football cards, hockey cards, basketball cards, whatever you open up as a kid. Didn't hear about this kind of crazy shit going on because it didn't happen. And if it did, you barely heard about it. Oh, let's not forget about Whatnot in general. I'm not going to go off about them because we all know that's just a cesspool of a selling platform. Let's not forget about the Backyard Breaks situation where this scumbag, Grant Telford, God, what a turd. I mean, and people throw money at these kind of people. You people throw money at these kind of people, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Are you that addicted to this space? I mean, in this space, addicted to cards, that you're going to sell your soul to the devil, basically, and give money to this scumbag. Made lewd jokes and sexual remarks, you know, about his hypothetical young daughter as the subject. We all know what happened here. And what happens? He gets welcomed back to Whatnot to sell again. Because I believe he's got a family member that's like one of the owners. I mean, this is just... I mean, as I'm making this video, I'm just feeling more and more gross and sick to my stomach. Backyard fucking breaks. Dirtballs. All of them. I mean, okay, so you had that. Then, recently, Patrick Ryan. By the way, I didn't know that he was, it says right here, Patrick Ryan is an investor in Collect, the website that I reference here that we all seem to reference every once in a while here on the old YouTubes. I didn't know he was an investor in Collect. Maybe that's why I didn't go so goddamn hard on him. So we all know what happened here, but if you don't, I'll just, just refresh or, inform you. Patrick Ryan collection. I don't know the guy. I'm not on Instagram, and I could give two shits about what cards he's got and how it's to flex them and show them off. He's got a lot of valuable cards, okay? And he's one of the bigger whales in the space. And, he bid on one of his own cards, his Michael Jordan card through, that was, through Fanatics Live, I guess. And, he made a bid on his own card through a third party that it was listed with. And he knew what he was doing. All this bullshit. Well, did he know? Did he not know? He fucking knew what he was doing. Come on. You got to be a complete moron to believe that he didn't. He did it by mistake. He wanted to see what was bullshit. Bullshit. And then, Dr. James Beckett has to, get in the mix here with this whole thing too. So he kind of tarnished his name by, having P. Ryan on his freaking podcast, and then they kind of fess up to shill bidding tactics, and then they walk that back, and the Patrick Ryan guy's a meltdown and tries to throw everybody under the bus. I mean, it's so comical, but it's criminal. Okay, it's criminal. It's illegal to shill bid, period. Okay? Can't follow that along that excuse. Well, the auction house allows it. It's illegal. It's a federal crime. Okay? We've gone over this, and there's no in-between gray area for this bullshit. And everybody made videos about it, myself included. Here is the video, the podcast with Beckett. You got the softball video here with Jeff Wilson, Teapot. I don't know this guy's name. Teapot seems okay to me. You hope at some point maybe he breaks away from Wilson and does his own thing, if he can. Got this sports card nonsense talking about it because I'm Carlos. I talked about it. Everybody talked about it. I suggest that this kind of thing needs to be reported. It does. It needs to be reported to the FTC, the FBI. Along with, and there's Beckett. Oh, good. The Beckett data breach. Can't forget that. That just recently happened. The Beckett data breach. Go change your password. Try to eliminate your account if you can. 500,000 email addresses were stolen, and probably people's credit card information. Thank God I had an old credit card in there. Good luck to using that. From back in 2020, whenever I put my last order in with Beckett. But I did change my password. I talked about that too. Fucking Beckett data breach. But back to this shill bidding thing. You got the Patrick Ryan fiasco, but then just the cherry on the top of the shit sundae is this. The most recent thing. The Probstein. And the more and more I hear about this guy, I just, he's falling into the dirtball category. Sorry, folks. He really, really is. Okay? You got this guy who was, had a sketchy past, and people made a lot of accusations about shill bidding with him, but was successful on eBay, and they kept him around because they couldn't see any evidence, they claim, or maybe they didn't want to do anything because they were making so much money off of him. And unfortunately, that's how things work in this space. People turn a blind eye, look the other way. If there's a lot of money that's happening, case in point, Whatnot, with backyard breaks. Good Lord. Anyway, back to this. We all know what happened with this because this is recent. I talked about this multiple videos. We've all talked about this. Uh, he breaks away from eBay, starts up Snipe. You know, I understand why. Doesn't want to pay the fees with eBay, can control things on his own, but he can also maybe do some shenanigans on his own too, and maybe not get caught. But no, such a dumbass. He has the worst security apparently on this selling platform, and it gets exposed. All the data breach. People's information gets taken, stolen. Is it listed here? Let's see. They lose the consignor's name, phone number, email, birthday, address, pay methods, the bidder's information, all the transaction, bids on this thing. And then it comes out that there's all these accounts here, these suspicious accounts tied in with Probstein. And I don't think anything's come out about it. There's been no, this is fake. This is all turning out to be real. And then what happens? eBay allows him back on their platform. They welcome him back with open arms. And it's just like it's all been forgotten. And nothing to see here. And Snipe? What was Snipe? I mean, we cannot forget about any of this stuff, guys. Honestly. We cannot forget about this. We cannot fall asleep at the wheel. 2 weeks from now, what was that all about? We can't. We cannot. And we should want to get people like this out of here. Out of this space. Especially when they, do things that are considered criminal acts. And that's what I was talking about getting into this before I cut myself off with the Beckett data breach. But I was talking about reporting these things to the FCC, the FBI. You guys can laugh out there, but there's a lot of people who aren't laughing about this. There's actually people I know that have corresponded me with that have filed complaints with those two organizations to have this kind of stuff looked at. And this is one example of a situation that definitely needs to be looked at by both of those parties, without a doubt. Because this, to me, is like the most egregious and serious of them all at the end of the day, rounding out the end of the year here with this story. And this just goes back to me talking about what I said in the beginning of this video. Why the hell would anybody with a brain between their ears want to come into this space? I love the nostalgia of this hobby space. Okay. I love having memories of things as a child with that coordinate with this space. Opening packs, building out sets, pulling out that gigantic rookie card as a kid. I remember when I pulled the Joe Montana rookie card, kind of knowing who he was. I remember pulling out the Ricky Henderson rookie card in 1980, knowing who he was. And was so just happier than a pig in poop. Okay? That element of the hobby, that nostalgia, those memories, those are good for me. But for wanting to come into this space, if I didn't have that in my mind, I would stay so far away from this. I would run to the frickin' hills and get away from this whole thing. And I personally, I am waiting to get out of this. And, I honestly don't know how, unless you are a glutton for punishment, which I am not, but some people may obviously be, Why the hell would you want to stay in this space and be surrounded by these consistent shitstorms that happen every single month, it seems like? I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But we have to do something, though, at the end of the day to try to clean this whole thing up, because this is just a mess. This is, like I said, the worst that I've ever seen this space be in. It's dysfunctional. It's toxic. It's driven by greed, And for those who decide to stay in this space, I guess God bless you. I guess maybe surround yourselves with people that are positive and are of the same mindset, and maybe try to block this stuff out. For those who want to try to clean up this space, do what you can. Call people out. File reports like I've just stated for these latest insane things. Get these bastards out of here. These criminals out of here. And for newcomers, take a look around, do your research, and see if this is something that you actually want to be a part of. Because honestly, if I was a person fresh into this, with bright-eyed coming into this, not knowing anything about it, I would not want to be anywhere near this kind of thing. Who the hell in their right mind would want to be? So that's it. That's all I've got for you guys today. A definite downer of a video, but a realistic look at all the crazy crap that has gone on. And this is just what I pulled up here. And there are other things, I'm sure, there are other scandalous things, insane criminal things that have happened. Feel free to comment down below about them. And I didn't touch upon every single thing, just the big stuff, bigger stuff here that's happened. And that's all I've got for you guys today. So if you're new here and you like what you see and hear here, please hit the subscribe button. Please comment down below. Please share this video with everybody in the car community. Please give this video a thumbs up, a like, and remember the eBay store link is down below in the description. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Until next time, folks, this is John and John Sports Odds and Collectibles signing off, and I'll see everybody very, very soon. Take care.